Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unique Peace. So, today we are talking about color and the effects of color. There is a psychology to the colors we select and choose to be around, and there's a psychology to how colors make us feel. So, if you are in marketing or if you pay attention to marketing, you'll notice certain brands and their colors, like Vonage. Yes, the woohoo people, their color is orange, as opposed to Nike or Adidas, which is just black and white. So when we select colors for our rooms, it's the same kind of concept. How does that make you feel? Vonage, the color orange, creative, bright, productive. That's also the sacral, not the sacral chakra. It is the solar plexus is associated with orange. Why? That's our creative, productive center. So we get shit done. Excuse my language if you're. Good morning, Michael. Welcome. So, again, when we look at the various colors that we select to be around in our life, when we select the various colors for our home or our kids' rooms, it's what do we want them to feel? Because whether we've taken the time to notice consciously, subconsciously, we do notice. Like red is passion. It's getting, you're very passionate, but it's also associated with anger. So you're not going to paint a room red and expect to be calm. That just doesn't make sense. But it's also giving you a sense of power. So you might choose to have a pop of red when you go to an interview. Why? Because it gives you that sense of power, personal power, confidence even. And it subconsciously letting your interviewer know that, hey, I got what it takes. And it's like, but I wouldn't overwhelm myself wearing an entire red suit. Just a pop of red. I'm confident. And the same is true, like if you're working up your chakras. Yellow is the next color. That's our sacral chakra. That's the color of creation. It's vibrant. It brings in, like when we look at the sun, for example, that vibrance, that like, oh wow, I'm ready to create something new, and brings you joy. And then we just talked about orange with the solar plexus. That's our creation center, where we take the time to create and be productive and follow through. It's our creative center. Then you work up to the heart, and that's green. That is a calming color. It is actually one of my colors. If you know, my colors are purple and green. That's a color of love. It's the color of calming. It is, the grass is green. It's associated with nature. It keeps you like, oh, you start to relax a little bit. And then your throat, that's blue. Now, blues we have to be careful of because they're called the blues. So sometimes they can make you feel more depressed. They have that sadness undertone, but then you have the royal blues and the higher blues that are richer in color. And when you are associated with those, then you feel more like regal and ready to like show yourself and speak your mind. And then you work your way up to your third eye, which is indigo. It's purple. And the various shades of purple are also calming, but they're very powerful. Like royal purple is regal and royal and plays off the royal blue very nicely. So when you're playing with color, you got to associate with what makes me feel better and what makes me feel worse, and how am I going to correlate all these together. And when you work your way up to the crown chakra, that is violet or white, depending on how bright and vibrant your own aura is. So violet is just another shade of purple, but it's more of a, like the violet flame of Saint Germain. It's got that fire to it. It's a little bit more vibrant, but at the same time, it gives you a different feeling. And it's a knowing feeling, and it's connection. Whereas white is just like everywhere. It burns bright. If you look at a fire and you see the hues, the very high flame hues of blues and whites with yellow, that gives you a sense of like, oh, there's a fire burning in me. So when it comes to peace, the colors that you choose to be around and be peaceful, you need to be mindful of. Because if you're choosing a purple, my colors are purple and green in my space. My clients come into a purple and green space, but they're more on the lavender side or on the pale green side. They're very muted. And the first thing that my clients will say is how calm they feel. And that's attributed to the color, not just the decoration, not just the music, the color. Because I've purposely chosen to put them in a peaceful environment. The same is true when you go out into the elements and what is peaceful to you. For some, if you live in a very Caribbean island type environment, that crystal blue water is very calming. That's one of the things that blues do, is they calm. They keep you centered. You can just sit there and observe the water. And then you'll notice that the white caps also from the waves will help you feel peace. So it's a whole immersive experience. You're in the element, you're by the water, you hear the crashing of the waves, but you're observing all the colors around you. You have the yellow. The sand is a shade of yellow unless you're like on a nice white beach. You have the crystal blue water, you have the white caps, you have the sun. You take it all in, and that's some of the things that calm us down. So when you're noticing the environment you're in, if you're stressed out, take a minute to observe the colors. Take a minute to say, okay, maybe I need to change my environment. Because what changing your environment does, excuse me, in putting yourself in a totally new environment and taking a moment to notice, hey, I feel better. Why do I feel better? Could be in the environment. Could be the colors that were in your previous environment are overwhelming and you need to be away. I work in a space occasionally where there's a bright orange wall in the back. And now we just went over orange is vibrant and helps with our productivity and our creation and all of that. But it can also be very overwhelming for some. And I know somebody in the office that she does not like orange. So it's clearly having an effect on her. And for her, it isn't a productive color. But if you put her in a yellow environment, a bright yellow, not a muddy yellow environment, she's more productive. She's happier. She's more vibrant. So on a subconscious level, colors do affect us. And we have to pay attention to the colors that we choose. Like anything else, paying attention to the world and environment we are in helps us when we are trying to create a peaceful space. Now, my stepdad, I love him dearly. He does not want to admit this. My mom and I joke about this, but he is better at interior design than he wants to admit. And when we redid the house after our fire, he had a say in 90% of what colors do you like? What do you like about this? And what do you think about this? Like, because my mom, there's 4 kids. I'm the oldest of 4. She wanted a light blue carpet. And he looked at her and goes, do we live in the same house? Because he knew that there were kids. So they went with the beautiful wood floors with a green carpet, a dark green carpet with a nice pale blue wall. It was like bringing the outside in and at the same time being realistic. It's like, okay, Bob's thought process was like, it's on a subconscious level. If I bring the outside in, maybe the kids will be calmer. It might have worked to an extent. But that thought process is there. And it's not on a conscious level, it's on a subconscious level. But when you bring it in and you learn interior design, or you just become more aware of your surroundings, you'll notice how certain colors and sounds affect the environment you're trying to create. And for that, I highly recommend that you pay attention when you're selecting. It's like, why do I want this color? How does it make me feel? Because if you're going to put this on your wall, it's going to be there for a while. So make sure you understand how it makes you feel. If you're choosing grays or blues or a combination of grays or blues, what are you trying? How does it make you feel? And how do you think that's going to be received by your guests? Mostly you have to be aware of how it makes you feel, clearly, because you're the one who's living there or spending a lot of time in the space. Also, when you're like considering how you want your kids' room to be, if you are a parent or a parent to be and you're doing the nursery, note that that's going to have a profound psychological effect on a subconscious level. So if you paint your kids, you say you're doing trains and you paint a wall red, that's going to cause a lot of, energy and movement and maybe some angst in a kid later on down the road. But if you paint it yellow, you're going to have a vibrant, creative kid. And while some people would say, oh, that's not true, I can say to an extent it is. My son's room is got a very green wall and the rest are white. And that green wall has evened him out. He's calmer than some of his friends. And he's more at ease than some of his friends. And on a subconscious level, those colors have an effect, whether we want to note that or not, but it's the truth. Because there wouldn't be a psychology to color if there wasn't some truth behind how we sit and observe things at brands, walls, when we do interior design, the clothing we wear. I mean, I do have one sister, her favorite color is or was black, but that's just a shade of gray. It's the darkest shade of gray. She can move up or down on that scale. And the same is true for white and beige. They're just shades. When you think of color, you think of something vibrant. And how is that affecting you in the world you're around you? Sorry. So remember, when you're thinking of colors and what makes you peaceful, do share what color you find peaceful and why you find it peaceful. I would love to hear what colors, not just your favorite color. Like my favorite color has always been purple, but I haven't always been the calmest person. I wasn't until recently that it's like, yeah, purple and green do make me calm, and they make those around me calm. And also notice the colors in nature that you're drawn to. I find that fascinating. That's something that has recently brought fascination to me, is the various colors in nature that I'm drawn to. I'm drawn to bright blue and vibrant blue. I'm drawn to the very beautiful yellows. The flowers that I take pictures of are all vibrant. And most flowers are vibrant, but then you have like the daisies. They're subtle, but if you get up close, they're vibrant. And also notice the colors that you're drawn to in those flowers or in those trees, and maybe perhaps why you're drawn to those. I find it fascinating, and I would love to hear how you guys feel about it. What colors are your favorite? How do they make you feel? And when decorating your house, I'd like to know why you made the selections you did, and how you feel about the selection you made at the time you made that choice and how you feel now. Because the whole psychology of color is really coming into play more so now than ever before. And I would love to hear what you all have to say. And as you think about this and you go through your day and you notice how your day is going, and you take a moment to observe your surroundings and observe the colors around you, do share. I would love to hear and learn more about the colors that make you happy and the colors that make you peaceful. And I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. Thank you, and have a great day.